to debate, Mercedes Schlapp is a former spokesperson for President George W. Bush, and Marie Harf is a former Obama State Department spokesperson. Both are Fox News contributors. Thank you for joining me, ladies. Andy McCarthy of National Review wrote something that he put this on Twitter. He said that he's very interested in the unmasking political spying story, that his hesitation is the president could declassify all of this. Why hasn't he? I'm totally willing to believe there was political spying, but when people in position easily to prove it just float innuendo, count me out. So, Marie, does the former Obama officials, are they frustrated that there's this drip, drip, drip of accusations against them, but there could be exposure if the president wanted?
Well, I think the Obama administration officials I've talked to have been very clear that while there's a lot of innuendo out there, exactly what you just said, there has been zero evidence at this point of anything improper being done. And you even had Senate Intel Chairman Richard Burr, who's a Republican, say, after he talked to Susan Rice, he came out and said, Devin Nunes created this whole unmasking thing, and we'll see if there's actually anything improper, but he hasn't seen it yet. So Devin Nunes is really trying to push this theory with no evidence behind it.
And Mercy, I guess it could be that maybe there wasn't a crime committed. Unmasking apparently was allowed. I never certainly asked for any of that. I'm sure you didn't either when you were at the White House. But again, the question is then, like, why then are all of these people asking for requests for unmasking all across the board?
Right.
Does it seem suspicious to you?
Well, I think it does, and I think it raises questions, and I think that's exactly what Devin Nunes is bringing up. He's basically saying, look, you had one government official that we know of with no intelligence background or functions, yet he easily got access to this information of what they call the U.S. person. So it's this easy access, the ability of these government officials to gain access to this information. Secondly, you also have the fact of justification, meaning that these government officials, like a Samantha Powers, like a Susan Rice, they're supposed to provide justification as to why they're unmasking these names. And they did not do it. They did not give adequate information based on the information that we know. Normally, analysts, intelligence analysts would have to fill out extensive forms to be able to unmask this information. So I think those are the questions that are being raised, and you're going to have to let this investigation go through to see what the results are.
And Marie, I understand your point, but I do think that there's a question that I have, which is unmasking is allowed.
Right.
Perhaps it was abused. I don't know. Maybe there was, but then there was the leak to the media,
which is a separate issue.
Okay, and is that one that is of concern to former Obama administration officials?
Absolutely. Any leak of classified information, I think, is a concern to all of us who've ever had the privilege of having a clearance. So that is a separate issue. But you know what Mercedes just said, actually, I don't think is entirely true. I have been told by numerous people that the process was followed here, and it is not an easy process, that someone like Susan Rice or Samantha Power, all of them had national security functions and roles, and they could have had reason to need this. They did the they went through the process. They went to the intelligence community. They gave a reason. And believe me, you know the intelligence community. I served in it. They're not just going to give it to you unless they think you have a good reason.
I guess it's hard, though, Marie, and Mercy, I'll let you comment on this. It's just hard to understand, then, why somebody at the United Nations would need to get unmasked information about the Trump campaign when you're at the United Nations. And I think that's parts to me that I don't think is understandable, Mercy.
Right, and this goes back to, let's raise the questions, let's have a thorough investigation as to why these individuals were unmasking. I made it very clear that one of the evidence that was shown was the fact that you had this one government official with no intelligence function basically asking for hundreds of unmasking requests. It's something that we need to look into. And I think that when you're looking at these facts, I think that it's just one of those other questions of dealing with the leaks and how these leaks got out.
All right, Mercy, Marie, thank you so much for being here tonight. We'll be